Well, welcome to Speaking of Horses. I'm your host, Wayne Williams, and we're ready to go right here with some of the great stories from the horse industry. So join us as we get ready to go Speaking of Horses right here on this station. Well, welcome to Speaking of Horses. Today we're going to take a little bit of a trip down memory lane. You know, there was a gentleman for years. He had a horse, Snowman. And there's a movie, Harry and Snowman. There's also the book, The $80 Champion, Harry De Leyer. A few years ago in Virginia, we got a chance to sit down and interview Harry. Let's listen. Hey, speaking of horses, we're here at the Virginia Horse Festival. And boy, I'm really honored to be sitting here next to Harry De Leyer. Now, Harry was the subject of a book years ago, and it is The $80 Champion. And Harry is with us. The horse was Snowman. And we got a movie coming out, got a lot of things. Harry, tell us a little bit about the history of you and Snowman, and then how the book developed.
Well, it's very simple, really. I was looking for a school horse, and I went to New Holland, and I got a flat tire going on the turnpike. And the sale was over when I got there. And I saw Snowy on the van, and then I picked him. And I told him he looked like a nice, quiet horse. And I thought he would make him very good beginner's horse. And that's what he did. And there he went. And there he was champion of the United States in 58, 59, 60, 62, and 63.
5 years?
5 years.
5 years champion on the $80 Champion, the horse Snowman.
Yeah.
And you had Snowman till he was 30, right?
Till he was 30. And he's buried on my farm. And that put a few tears in my eyes. Then HBO come and they took a movie of it. And he was that close to me. And I want to thank every American person that I can get a horse. And there he is. And he was champion for 6 years.
Wow. Now, Harry, the book came out. When did the book first come out?
Well, in 1960, Rupert Montgomery came out with a book. And then there was Snowman, the Cinderella horse, was another book that came out right away behind it. And that was for little kids. Now, they're writing all new books, and I cannot keep track of it. I just a farm boy.
But this book is the $80 Champion, Snowman, the horse that inspired the nation. Now, this one was written by Elizabeth Letts.
Yeah.
Now, they have since, actually, at the time of this interview, which is the Virginia Horse Festival, the end of March of 2015, you're about 2 weeks away from the premiere of the movie, which is going to premiere in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the movie title is?
It's called Snowman.
Snowman, okay.
Yep.
And it premieres, the 9th, 10th, and 11th of April, something like that, right? 9th, 10th, 11th of April in Raleigh, all right? So I know we got people here watching that are going, oh, wow, it's coming up quick, right? But what about the movie? Were you involved in the making of the movie?
Yeah, they got my pictures on it, and they got my son's pictures, and they got Morris, George Morris is in it, and there is David Doubleday, he's the announcer, and he's in it, and they're all in it.
They're all in it. Well, Harry, now you originally are from Holland, right?
Yeah, I was in the war in Holland, and then one of the parachute troopers got killed in Holland, and we buried him. And my sisters put flowers on the grave and sent pictures to his mother. And she sponsored me to come to the United States.
Now, when did you come to the States?
1950.
1950 you came to the States. And I know it's no secret, but you just had a birthday, or you just have a birthday coming, and you're how old?
I'm going to be 88 years old in September 21st.
And you are still riding horses?
Still riding horses.
Yeah. And training and doing
I'm doing everything.
I met you a couple of years ago when we were up at the Raceway here in Richmond, and we did an interview, and you were doing clinics there.
Oh, yes. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I did everything. Everything. And you see that young lady standing there?
Yeah.
She rides Snowy, the little champion.
Oh, wow.
He's leading the champion of Virginia.
Well, I'll tell you, it's quite a story about how you came here from Holland, how you found this horse by luck of the draw, so to speak. Yep. The $80 champion, and then the book all about how well you did. Now the movie premiere. So what are you going to do in the next 30 years?
I just try to stay alive.
That's the answer I was looking for, because you've been telling people as they visit the booth here, and I've been very pleased to have you in my Speaking of Horses booth this afternoon, but you've been telling people that as long as horses are in your life, you have got a smile on your face, so, right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're going to keep those horses there, right?
I keep them there.
That's great.
And why you think one got the name Snowy? He's called after Snowman, and he's white.
There you go.
And the young girl, we were offered money yesterday. I said, I don't want to sell him.
Well, it's quite a story. I mean, you've done a fantastic job, with Snowman, your career in horses, and all of your career as you move through coming from Holland to the United States and everything you've done. And we're just really happy to have a chance to talk to you. And now with the movie, everything you've done is going to be logged right in. So, Harry, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No, I want to thank every American give me the chance. I only 8 years in this country. I champion in Madison Square Garden.
Fantastic. Harry, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All right. And thank you all. Speaking of horses, Harry De Leyer, and what a story. Hey, we at Speaking of Horses invite you to join us as we bring you many, many programs over the next few months, from retired racehorse makeover programs to horse rescue operations to therapeutic riding operations. Anything that benefits the horse, the rider, any discipline, any wonderful project. So we want you to join us right here on Speaking of Horses. We got some really good stuff coming up. And of course, you can always check out all of the other stuff we do, video as well, at speakingofhorses.com on our website. In the meantime, thanks for joining us here on this radio station. And we're going to bring you a lot more of Speaking of Horses. Well, here we are again. We're at the Hoosier Horse Fair in Indianapolis, and we're bringing you a lot of highlights. And one of the highlights here is a lady that has a wonderful presentation, not only with trick horses, both miniature and full size, but you also do some dressage rides, some classical rides, yes. And has a very, you've got a very storied background in performing with horses anyway. So Heidi Harriet is here, and I'm really glad to have her sitting beside me. So tell us a little bit about your background, how you got to entertaining like you're doing it.
Well, Wayne, thanks for talking today. I am a third-generation entertainer, horse trainer, and horse lover. So I use a method handed down by my grandfather, my father, and then my mother and all my sisters as well have been horse trainers and performers. So I kind of consider myself an entertainer first. And what I want to do is make sure I provide an entertaining presentation when I'm out here, whether I'm doing a show or clinics or demonstrations. So that's really my goal. And it seems to be going over well. It's a little different approach than a lot of the other folks use.
Well, you know what's interesting is people, whether they're deep into horses or just into them for fun or whatever, the nice part of it is everybody wants to come and learn about how to do something with their horse, but then they want to go do it. So they want to have the fun part of it tied to everything else.
Exactly. And The other thing is that you don't have to be a horse person to enjoy our shows. So if the public is just coming out here because they heard there's something to do here in Indianapolis, the Hoosier Horse Fair, they can come out, and I'm doing the clinic for the folks who want to learn, but I'm also entertaining for the folks who are just looking for something to do and have fun, and we know that people like to be entertained. But then I do follow up with my website and videos so that people can take this home and apply it. And I think that's important because there's so much information coming at you at a place like this. You want to make sure you can take it home and put it into use.
And that's what makes the whole thing such a nice package, is the fact that people can come out and learn how you do this and learn how this works. So you have a lot more than just, watch my show at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
You can say, watch my show at 5 o'clock, but you can also say, come at 4 o'clock and I'll show you how we do all this, and you can apply it at home.
That's right, and we're trying my safety first with my program, so we're showing you how to do everything, and I encourage people to have fun with it. If they want to then go down to their church and do a little show with their horses or that, there's room for all of us. I'm not giving away secrets. This is stuff that we've showed people how to do over the years. My father's always been great about asking people to come and see, but it can be boring because there's a lot of repetition involved. So although we're putting it out there for folks, we're not worried that people are just going to go. And if they do get going with it and have fun with it, God bless them. There's room for all of us. I wish them well. I really do.
Well, the beautiful part of it is horses are such an important part of our history as mankind from the start, okay? And the horse will never leave us. Their role may change slightly, but the horse will never leave us. And there's no better way to, what's the old saying? There's been many people quoted with this, but the inside of a horse, or the outside of a horse is good for the inside of a man.
Yes.
I bet there's 100 people have claimed to have been the one that said that, but it's true.
And you know what is another great saying is that in America the West was discovered by not only man, but beside every footprint was a hoof print. So they're a part of our American heritage as well. And they're so good for you. And the thing I love about trick horse training and the stuff I'm showing people is that it's a great way to have a positive interaction with your horse. Horse shows are wonderful. I've never been a competitive horse show person. Again, my background comes from the entertainment side.
And that's a quick visit with Heidi Harrowit. Thank you for a look back right here on Speaking of Horses. Well, that's our show. I'm your host, Wayne Williams. Speaking of Horses, we'll be back next week with a brand new show. Or join us at speakingofhorses.com.